Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today, to celebrate Ayaka's newest album coming out on the 14th of November, I have decided to review all of her original albums, and we start today with the debut album, First Message. Before we get started, I want to remind you that this is simply my opinion on the album, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more. Back in 2006, Ayaka released her debut album called First Message. And before this one, she had a string of very successful singles, which led to this album selling over 1 million copies. And it really was a time period where female soloists in Japan were still pretty big, but still, for a debut album, it was a really successful start. And I'm not surprised this album was such a success because it contains all the right ingredients. First, Ayaka's voice is peculiar enough so you know immediately it is her singing. I mean, she has such a deep voice and a tone of voice you immediately feel through your bones. And on a song like I Believe, you really feel every note, every word getting to you softly. Second, the music style on this album is just the right blend of J-pop. It's not too cute, it kinda takes itself a bit more seriously, and you get songs that bear a more pop rock attitude like Shalala or Stay With Me, and others that make Ayaka appear like the cute girl next door who plays the guitar while the wind brushes her hair, and you're immediately into it. There's something so likable about Ayaka. Like, every time I think about this album, I don't have many songs that I remember that much, but I know that going back to it is always a pleasant trip down memory lane. And it's always so surprising how much her music style has changed along the years, leaving this very heavy pop rock sound for something more along the lines of a more J-pop center sound later in her career. And this album has always been a bit of a tricky one for me because on one hand, I enjoy it, but on the other hand, I never went crazy about it, and this type of pop rock music has always been one that I enjoyed deeply. Although with Ayaka, I never quite connected to her music with this debut album. And I think the main reason why is because this album doesn't feel quite like the right fit for her. I mean, she sounds great, although a bit rough here and there, and many songs on this album helped make her the artist she is today. And even though she is involved in writing, it does feel like a label at the time had a clear idea of what she was supposed to do. And this album does feel very repetitive. I mean, listening to it again, I realized that from the song Kimi no Power to Otona no Furi to the final track, I barely paid attention, got distracted very easily with other things while listening to it, and I had to go back again and focus again on it. And it really made me realize that this album works great when you want a background sound, either when you're working or when you're traveling. But I feel like it lacks a bit of substance to really make it an album to go back to often and to remember especially. First Message as a debut album feels like a solid album that does show how talented Ayaka was at the time and still is to this day, and it's interesting to hear her earlier songs that do feel a little bit too much straight out of the cookie cutter, and I think it does that because a label saw a couple of successful singles and was like, you need to do this, and it did work. I mean, the album sold so much, and I think it's doing what it's supposed to do really well, although it does feel a bit too long at times, and it definitely relays on the same music style a lot, and that's why I give this album 3 stars. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to tell me what you think of First Message down below, and I'll see you tomorrow for my review of Sing to the Sky.